From solid-fuel ICBMs to hypersonic glide vehicles, North Korea now fields an arsenal that can reach any point in the continental United States. North Korea has spent the past decade doing what few believed was possible, quietly transforming itself into one of the world's most heavily armed nuclear states. Despite a struggling economy and crushing sanctions, Pyongyang has poured enormous resources into missile technology, all while simultaneously funding its own nuclear program. How does a country of this size sustain such an effort? The answer lies in its strategic obsession, building a nuclear missile shield capable of deterring any opponent from regional rivals to the United States. That drive has pushed North Korea into the ranks of major nuclear powers alongside India and Pakistan, and in certain technologies such as maneuverable hypersonic glide vehicles and mobile solid-fuel ICBMs, it may even have surpassed them. Over the past 2 years, Pyongyang has revealed new generations of intercontinental, medium-range, and short-range missiles, systems that increasingly resemble those of far wealthier nations, and that in some cases are already deployed. Understanding these capabilities is essential in attempting to grasp how North Korea sees its own security and how it intends to defend it. Intercontinental Ballistic Missiles, ICBMs. On October 11, 2025, Pyongyang held a large military parade marking the 80th anniversary of the Workers' Party of Korea. The WPK has spent decades promoting a national future built on the principles of Juche, and the parade showcased the newest advances in North Korea's missile and military technology. One of its key moments was the unveiling of the new Hwasong-20 mobile intercontinental ballistic missile. The missile uses a classic 3-stage solid-fuel design reminiscent of Russia's Yars systems and is carried on an 11-axle transporter that also serves as the launch platform. The Hwasong-20 weighs around 80 metric tons and carries a multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicle, or MIRV. A few weeks before the parade, North Korea tested a new engine likely intended for this missile. Its estimated range may exceed 15,000 kilometers, giving Pyongyang the ability to strike any point in the continental United States. The missile is a logical next step in North Korea's drive to develop mobile, solid-fuel ICBMs. It has not yet been flight tested, but such tests are expected in the coming months, after which the system could enter service. Meanwhile, the Hwasong-18 is already deployed in limited numbers. These missiles were also shown at the National Defense Development 2025 exhibition and at the parade, mounted on a 9-axle transporter launcher. The Hwasong-18 is lighter than the Hwasong-20 and resembles Russia's Topol-M. Its estimated range reaches up to 12,000 kilometers. The missile likely already forms part of North Korea's strategic missile forces and has replaced older, heavier liquid-fuel mobile systems. It was first displayed and successfully launched in 2023. Alongside solid-fuel systems, Pyongyang continues to test larger liquid-fuel rockets like the Hwasong-17. First revealed in 2020 and successfully launched in 2022, the missile shows clear influences from Soviet design. It weighs around 100 tons and is estimated to have a range of up to 15,000 kilometers. A heavy multi-axle transporter moves the missile to the launch site and raises it vertically, where targeting and launch procedures are completed. This process is slower than with modern solid-fuel systems, which conduct targeting before elevation. Had multi-axle missile carriers existed in the 1960s, Russia's earliest mobile missiles might also have been liquid-fuel designs from the Chelomey or Yangel bureaus. But history unfolded differently, leading to the use of lighter solid-fuel missiles on mobile platforms. These intercontinental missiles are likely already deployed in North Korea. How many are there? This is difficult to assess. Open data on North Korea's nuclear arsenal is extremely limited, and information on launcher production has only appeared at recent military exhibitions. It is clear, however, that these numbers remain small. Just 6 Hwasong-17 launchers were displayed. It also appears that after developing more advanced solid-fuel systems, Pyongyang scaled back work on the larger Hwasong-17. Overall, North Korea may now have roughly a dozen deployed mobile ICBMs, both liquid fuel and solid fuel. This gives Pyongyang the ability to target not only the Pacific region, but also any point in the continental United States. Medium-range ballistic missiles, MRBMs. Missiles with a range of 1,000 to 5,500 kilometers fall into the medium-range category. While the US and Russia have avoided developing such systems for decades because of the INF Treaty, North Korea and other states faced no such restrictions. As a result, Pyongyang now operates several types of MRBMs. What sets these missiles apart is their design. Many of them carry maneuverable hypersonic glide vehicles. On April 2, 2024, North Korea conducted its first launch of the Hwasong-16B hypersonic missile, which was also displayed at the parade in Pyongyang. Fired from a transport launch container mounted on a mobile 7-axle platform, this solid-fuel missile carries a hypersonic gliding warhead capable of riding the edge of the atmosphere and reaching distances of up to 5,000 kilometers. Current missile defense systems struggle to intercept a maneuverable hypersonic glide vehicle, making the Hwasong-16B capable of striking targets anywhere in Southeast Asia or the Pacific. A notable development this year is the unveiling of the Hwasong-11M system, which carries 2 missiles with maneuverable hypersonic glide vehicles and has an estimated range of at least 1,000 kilometers. The system has not yet been tested, but appeared both at the Pyongyang Parade and the National Defense Development 2025 exhibition. Testing is likely to begin soon, followed by deployment. Its 5-axle launcher has already been used for several years with conventional Hwasong-11 ballistic missiles, which will be discussed further below. The new Hwasong-11M has a stronger booster at a hypersonic glide vehicle that could, in theory, be deployed in a non-nuclear configuration if North Korea has resolved the precision guidance issues that such warheads require. If so, the system would pose a serious threat to the U.S. Navy, as these missiles could strike aircraft carriers far from North Korea's coastline, assuming such targets can be detected. Another important system is the Pokguksong-2 KN-15, a mobile missile first tested in 2017. Originally designed for submarine launch, it was later adapted for ground-based mobile launchers. The solid-fuel missile has a range of up to 1,500 kilometers and may be capable of carrying a nuclear payload, although it is unclear whether it is currently deployed. Like other systems, it has been shown during parades and produced in numbers sufficient for testing. And yes, North Korea does possess submarine-launched missiles. Submarine-launched ballistic missiles, or SLBM. On September 6, 2023, North Korea launched its largest domestically built submarine, the Hero Kim Gun-ok, in Sinpo. The submarine is equipped with 4 launchers for ballistic missiles and 6 launch systems for sea-based cruise missiles. This first North Korean ballistic missile submarine carries Pokguksong-5 missiles, which have a diameter of roughly 1.5 meters. First unveiled in 2021, these are currently the most advanced sea-based missiles in North Korea's arsenal, with an estimated range of at least 3,000 kilometers. Before the latest Pokguksong models appeared, North Korea developed several earlier variants of the missile. Research and testing took place on sea platforms and with a prototype submarine. All of this was part of Kim Jong-un's long-running effort to build a viable sea-based missile force, and that goal has now been achieved. North Korea has successfully deployed a submarine capable of launching intermediate-range ballistic missiles, a capability which had only been achieved by Russia, China, the United States, and India. Short-range ballistic missiles, SRBM. North Korea also fields short-range ballistic missiles, systems known in the Soviet Army as front-line missiles, with ranges between 300 and 1,000 kilometers. Pyongyang has developed several designs within this class. The KN-25 multiple rocket launcher fires 600mm rockets. On April 23, 2024, a battery of these rockets was used in North Korea's first full tactical exercise, simulating a nuclear counterstrike. For the first time, it was officially stated that these rockets can carry nuclear warheads. With a range of 400 kilometers, they can reach targets across much of South Korea. Each KN-25 rocket is equipped with a flight correction system that significantly improves accuracy. Unlike traditional multiple launch systems such as the Grad or Katyusha, each missile is individually guided. In one test, the rocket was detonated in mid-air above the target, an approach suited for cluster munitions or nuclear warheads, since an airburst maximizes destructive impact through its shockwave. Another major system is the Hwasong-11, known in the West as the KN-23 and sometimes jokingly referred to as Iskander-4 because it closely resembles the Russian 9M723 missile from the Iskander-M system. First unveiled in 2019, the missile now exists in multiple versions, including a mobile ground-launched model and a railway-based variant. Tests were also carried out from sea platforms, and it is likely that submarine-launched versions will follow. With a range of up to 600 kilometers, the missile can carry compact nuclear warheads, giving North Korea the ability to strike any target on the Korean peninsula. The system's key strength is its simplicity and standardization. One missile type is used across multiple launch platforms, making it a cost-effective solution. The KN-24, or Hwasong-11B, and its successor, the Hwasong-11D version, have shorter ranges of around 400 kilometers. However, each launcher carries 2 missiles in the Hwasong-11B version and 4 in the Hwasong-11D version, similar to the U.S. ATACMS system. North Korean engineers appear not only to have replicated Russia's Iskander concept, but also to have borrowed ideas from ATACMS. The key difference is that while the original ATACMS design is more than 3 decades old, the North Korean variant uses modern technology, offering roughly 1.5 times the range and potentially greater accuracy. In this overview, we have focused solely on ballistic missiles. North Korea has also developed various drones and cruise missiles, but ballistic missiles remain far more difficult for modern air defense systems to intercept, and North Korea's arsenal allows it to destroy a potential aggressor without turning to other means of attack. This likely explains Kim Jong-un's consistent emphasis on this category of weapons.